Well, hello there. I've decided to make a film about what's been going on for me because I feel it could be helpful to others, always a motivation. So, 3 days ago I dropped a jar and it broke, glass all over the floor. Managed to clean the whole floor up without getting injured, and then as I stepped out of the kitchen onto the hallway, managed to step on a reasonably large shard of broken glass. But as soon as I put the pressure on, I stopped and withdrew, so I only did a small bit of damage to my foot, and it just really was no big deal, no biggie at all. So I just went on my life, went to visit my daughter, my friend, did a few different things. But the reason I'm making this film partly is just to let you know how things are in the UK in terms of such things. So at the minor injuries unit I did wait about an hour and a half or so, got seen by a nurse, was told I'd need an x-ray, which I already knew because I'd phoned up the NHS Direct 111 beforehand, and they said that's what I need to have done, and waited a load more time. Eventually got the x-ray results, and I definitely got a piece of glass in my foot, but nowhere near where the puncture wound is. So they don't remove things like that in the minor injuries unit I've just been to. So they phoned up the main hospital in the area, and they don't want to do it either, because to actually do it, because the piece of broken glass is not anywhere near where the puncture wound is, they're going to have to make a long incision into the foot and prod and poke around, so they just really don't want to do it. So instead they've said, well, just live with it, just see how it goes. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to see how things go for the next few days, and if it is getting worse, then I will have to go to the GP. So I thought I'd just let you know that, because it's interesting to know how all these things work, what with the change in the world situation, that I do feel there's a subtext which is at all, if at all possible, they don't want to do any interventions. That definitely does seem to be something to be aware of. Next thing I want to do is I want to speak to you about going on to an NHS facility and you're not going to wear a mask. You don't wear masks, so I don't wear a mask, as I'm sure everybody knows by now, and my experiments at doing so in the Spanish territories did give me considerable distress and re-traumatized me, actually. So it's like, the reason why I'm exempt is because I tried playing the game and it simply doesn't work. So this is what I want to say. If you're a person that needs to be exempt from wearing a mask, the first thing you've got to do is to just look on the government website gov.uk about mask wearing and exemptions. It lays it all out for you very clearly indeed, and in the description I'm going to put a bit of the relevant stuff that is what you need to know. But the really important thing is as follows: if you're exempt from wearing a mask, and that is fundamentally your decision, that is not the decision made by a doctor or a medical practitioner or an official or a bureaucrat. No, just look at the rules, look at the law. That is your decision, and in fact it's very clear that you are not required to have an exemption card. There's even instructions about how you can make your own if you want, but it's only for your own comfort. You don't need to do any of those things. I think it's important for people to know what the situation is. So this is something you decide for yourself, and you can look at the government guidelines. You can see there's a lot of different reasons why people might be exempt from wearing a mask. And the thing is, wherever you go, you are completely clear that is a situation. If you have this attitude, you will find you will have no problem, because it's a situation. I'm having no problem whatsoever. It's absolutely fine. Now, I was in a shop yesterday guy behind the counter. People in shops usually don't ask me, but this one did, and I said yes, I'm exempt. He actually said, "Are you exempt?" I said, "Yes, I am." The whole thing was done. Yeah, half a dozen words, finished. A woman came in about 5 minutes later. He asked the same question. She did not answer clearly, and so there then ensued a 5-minute conversation, which was very uncomfortable and difficult for her. And the guy basically started subtly harassing her. There's no need for this treatment. The way you avoid this is by being clear with all authorities that that is your situation, and you are not required to provide any evidence whatsoever. In fact, it's actually contrary to the Disabilities Discrimination Act 2010 if anyone asks you to provide documentary evidence, and it's also contrary to the same law for you to be asked any questions about exactly what it is you've got. Out of sheer consideration of the staff in the minor injuries unit, when it was a medical practitioner speaking to me, I was quite happy to say and give a little bit of detail, but the receptionist, no, didn't even ask for it. So there you are, that's the story about such things. So thank you very much, and I'm just going to see what happens to my foot, see if it does heal up of its own accord, or if it doesn't and I have to see the GP and then eventually end up in hospital. We'll see what happens. Thank you very much. Cheers.